Mama. I'm Courtney Cecil, proud mom of two boys and an organizational culture and behavior change executive. And I'm a believer in building a movement to help the burned out, overwhelmed working moms reclaim their control and free time so that they can confidently remain in the workforce without losing the sanity or themselves. Now, let's get started.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Life Management System. I'm your host, Courtney Cecil, and inside this episode, we are going to talk about how there never seems to be enough time. Am I right or am I right? I know. This episode is going to actually feel a little bit different. It is more just encouragement than it is practical tips and tricks, which is what I normally try to pack in these. I do try to make the life management system as applicable to as possible. So when you tune in, you're like, ooh, that's a nugget I really needed. It's something, it's a mindset or a tactic I could apply immediately. This one's going to feel a little bit less like that and more just an acknowledgement of reality. So I am just coming off of a very long promotion period for my life training. If you weren't able to catch it, the replay is still very active. Would love for you to get it. We'll link that in the show notes. But inside it, I talk about this notion of how we can get more time back because that's what many of us feel deprived for. And I want to help as many moms as possible get as much out of their day as possible. My friend Morgan always says to me, she's like, Courtney, you are a maximizer. And it just makes me really proud because I really do feel like I'm able to get as much out of life as there's possibly able to get out of it. But at the same time, there are only 24 hours in a day. And it is that like acknowledging of reality that I really want to focus on now. So, if you were able to tune into that training or have been with me for a bit, you've probably heard me talk about the life tension continuum. That's what I call it, at least. And it's essentially this notion that any point in our life, our relationship with health, wealth, and time looks different. When we're little, we have a lot of health and a lot of time, but no wealth. When we're older, we probably have a lot of wealth and time, but less health. And at the stage of life we're in right now, we probably are very sufficiently blessed with health and wealth, but no time. So that time truly is our most precious commodity. And I get it. Like I feel that myself too. I see you. I know that you feel stretched. I know that you feel like even finding 5 minutes to devote to yourself is impossible. You are constantly in motion. It's work and kids and house and life, then work and kids and house and life, like that repeat over and over and over. And it just feels like there's never enough time. But I want you to know you're not alone in it. You're not alone, even though I know that I have plenty of time to devote to all the things I prioritize and I fit them all in. I fit two full-time jobs and two kids and lots of travel and lots of social time and working out, like big time workouts, like hour long with a trainer workouts. Like I really do feel like I fit it all in. And still yet, I don't feel like there's enough time. Like I think that is inherently human. But the bottom line is we only have 24 hours in a day. And the difference isn't whether or not there's enough time, it's how we use the time we've got. So instead of believing, I don't have enough time, what if I asked, is this the best use of my time? So if you find yourself constantly constrained, thinking there's never enough, ask yourself when you do things, is this the best use of my time? And that's actually why I do two things. One, I focus my clients on getting clear on their values and priorities first, because when you're clear on that, that's the ultimate ticket to time freedom. But part of that is doing time audits. Actually, I kid you not. So if you are watching this on YouTube, you can see I'm doing a time audit for myself right now for both of these jobs. It is such a valuable tool because that will then allow you to gut check yourself like, hey, is this thing that I'm doing, regardless if it's only today or if I'm doing this every day, is that worth my time? Yes or no? Does it align with what my priorities are? Because we're never going to fit everything in. And I like even when we're retired and we have hypothetically all the time in the world because we're retired, we don't have kids, like literally all the time, we're still not going to fit everything in. But the reason why is because we are doing things that align with our priorities. Like I think about my parents who are not retired, but like quasi-retired. They spend every single day at the lake during summer, it feels like. I think about my in-laws who have been talking forever about organizing their garage. I don't know if they're ever going to get to it. And it's not that it's a big deal. It's not a big deal that they're not getting to it because guess what? That's a wish list item. And there's a very big difference between a wish list and a to-do list. And I actually talk about this in one of my free guides. So if you're interested, I think it would be a very, very valuable tool to help bring this to life. But the difference between a wish list and a to-do list is a to-do list is stuff that's actually got to get done. But a wish list are those things like organizing your garage that you hope to get done. You would really appreciate it if it got done. It would make you feel more at peace, but it doesn't have to. And so often we let those wish list items consume our mental load and our energy. So if you have not already gotten that guide, I encourage you to do that. You can get it at www.workingmomsmovement.com/to-do, or I will link it in the show notes. But it will help you understand how to build a productive to-do list and what a wish list looks like, what the elevation needs to look like for it to be productive, and how to get the most out of that in order to maximize your like time expenditure and what your output, but minimize the amount of stress and mental load that you carry. Okay, so the thing about that wish list that's really important though is that it is my permission to you to do less. Not that you need my permission, don't misread that. But if you're looking for somebody that spends time in this space to say, you know what, you're already doing enough, like let the rest of that go, I'm giving it to you now. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to be everything to everyone. Some things can wait. Some things can be good enough instead of being perfect. And some things really don't deserve to be on your plate at all. I never want people to get the impression, by the way, that I'm encouraging them to hustle harder. That is not what I'm about. That is not what I believe in. I am a hustler. Like I do work hard. I have a lot of energy and a lot of horsepower. But I also, guys, I'm managing two full-time jobs. So that is just not something that most of you are doing. So I'm doing all the things I'm doing, the travel, the friend stuff, the working out, my house is spotless. Like I'm doing all of that stuff and I'm not hustling harder. The only reason I'm hustling harder is because I added a second job to my plate. I am not encouraging you to do that. I am trying to encourage you to be at peace with the things you got on your plate and to work smarter with different strategies in order to accomplish as much as you were used to before kids, now with kids. You can't accomplish the same things in the same way you used to. It's kind of like getting promoted into the manager ranks at work and then still doing all of the work with the associate consultant levels beneath you. Like it just doesn't work like that. You end up having to delegate things and get rid of things or not do things for a reason. So I want you to like free yourself from doing the things or spending time on things that don't deserve your time. Look at your week, and if there are things that you're doing just because you feel like you should, who says that you should? Where are you? Is it something you are comparing yourself to? Is it something that you used to do and now you think you need to do it because you always did it? Is it something that your peers are doing? Like, why are you feeling like you should do that thing? Or maybe those things that you should do, quote unquote, do, are actually wish list items that are consuming your mental energy because you feel guilty. You're like, oh gosh, I really do wish I could clean the garage. Who cares about the garage? Let the garage go. Like the garage is fine. It might be a little annoying and it might make you feel really good if it's cleaned out, but there's no reason that you need to be thinking about the garage as the hypothetical example all day, every day, when it's fine like it is. It's fine like it is. So I want you thinking, what is a wish list item that's consuming your mental energy? What can you delete or delegate or simplify to be able to be more present now? And again, if I believe I said this at the top of the episode, but I do a lot of work teaching women, working moms specifically, how to delegate. Some have gotten exposure to it through work, some still haven't. It's a really, really critical skill set and strategy to use in order for you to be able to function and still get all the things done as a working mom. So if you haven't already tuned into episode 28 of this podcast, it's called The Secret to How You Can Have It All. I think you should do that. I think you will learn a good bit about ways and strategies that you can do things differently in order to do more. Because oftentimes, like people do have this all or nothing mindset. I just fundamentally disagree. And part of the strategy that I teach women is like chunks of, I call them snack size habits. And the reason I focus on snack size habits, the reason that I work with my clients on building those little tiny incremental improvements is that a little bit of time over a long period of time really adds up. So it doesn't have to be this all or nothing mindset. You don't need 3 uninterrupted hours to target organizing that closet or the garage. You don't need a full hour to get in steps. Just take the 10 dedicated minutes you got and get after it because those small pockets of time will add up. So, Mama, I know you're tired. I know you're tired. I know you feel pulled in a million hundred different directions, but I also want you to know that you deserve time. You deserve time to be with your family, to invest in yourself, and to focus on all the things that truly matter. I want you to stop believing that you don't have enough time and start taking back control of the time you do have. Because trust me, I'm always telling anybody that will listen to me that if I had a superpower, it would be to not have to sleep because I could get so much more done. I know, isn't that crazy? Like that would really truly be my superpower is to never have to sleep. I could get so much done. But it's just not possible. So it's these lessons that I have to put into place and have to lean into and like building that muscle that I've worked so intentionally on over the past couple years. It's these lessons that I put into place that allow me to peacefully sleep at night, knowing that I had enough time to do all the things I needed to get done. So, thank you once again for being here. If you are not following me on Instagram, I'd love to connect with you. I'm very active in the DMs. You can DM me at Working Moms Movement. Subscribe, rate, and review us. That is the lifeblood of getting this podcast off the ground and what will actually give me a little bit of lift with the algorithms. But until next time, if nobody's told you lately, you're doing a great job, Mama. You've got this.